In the second part of this week's coverage, we've decided to leave gunfights aside and focus on the non-action sequences at the beginning of Act 2. In the next few minutes, we'll be talking about the environments, the visuals, the impact of time on the game world, and the upgrade system. Leaving the nighttime setting of the first act, Act 2 welcomed the sun and its first beams. The corridors of the university gave way to more industrial environments where light passes through in an almost poetic way. Once again, the implementation of both global illumination and PBR makes a big difference. The game does not look particularly photorealistic, but Remedy's visual style is easily recognizable. And we like the atmosphere conveyed by the warehouses overgrown with vegetation, which are a bit reminiscent of The Last of Us. Of course, some will keep complaining about image quality, claiming it's too blurry, when in fact you forget about it quite rapidly, or about the LUT issues with the trees you can still see here on the right. But in the end, Quantum Break's visuals are very solid, and that's great news.
They can, trust me.
Aside from this short passage in what seems to be a sort of train graveyard filled with abandoned freight cars covered with graffitis, Jack will spend most of his time in more or less big warehouses where he'll have to face a good number of Monarch Solutions soldiers. Note that on several occasions, the use of special filters with saturated colors will somehow give the image a crisper look. From the secret labs in which Paul Serene's men conduct some mystery research, to the sunny docks and their big boats and containers, Jack's progression is quite coherent, though also a bit conventional, some might say. Act 2 also justifies the name of the time vision ability, which will not only serve to reveal the echoes from the past or the position of your enemies. Thanks to a scripted rewind system, it will be possible to overcome certain obstacles and reach otherwise unattainable spots. Time dodge can also be used to get a jump on the playful electric gate while impressing a young woman in the process.
Oh my god.
Short platform sequences are also featured here, sometimes including the rewind mechanic to add very simplistic puzzles.
Is that another one of those rewind things?
You'll be turning back the hands of time a lot in Act 2 actually. To override security in a warehouse, or to reach new heights to find the exit of a lab. Nothing too complicated until now, sadly, or even particularly original when you're asked to explode conveniently placed red barrels to clear out the way. Fortunately, you can count on the new time fracture sequences to take Quantum Break to the next level, both in terms of visuals and atmosphere. When all the special effects kick in, the game looks phenomenal. And in a scene like this one, taking one's time to observe every single detail around you never gets old. All the particles frozen in time looks absolutely superb, so please make sure you don't miss any of what's going on when it happens. Be careful though, sometimes time can turn the environment against you, threatening your life in the process. Time loops are indeed potentially dangerous, especially if you let yourself be enraptured by the beauty of the phenomenon. That being said, cheating death is not that hard in such sequences. It can happen, but mainly if your timing is terrible. There obviously could be more challenge here, but the atmosphere the game conveys is so good that these passages become memorable in the end. It's just a shame they're not long enough, the main reason probably being that Remedy wanted the base of the adventure to be perfectly balanced for those more interested in the gunfights. Finally, we need to talk about Quantum Break's upgrade system, requiring you to collect the quantum sources scattered around thanks to your time vision, and the radar which appears every time you use it and a quantum source is nearby. Each power can be upgraded several times, as in most games of the genre. That's it for our second preview video based on our impressions of the first part of the second act. Let us take this opportunity to thank you all for your support. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Time to move on to our last commented video featuring only one sequence, but what a sequence.